Okay, so the first thing is the question says the diagram 4 actually show the graph function of y equals to 2x squared plus x minus 7 and the straight line y equals to the px minus 9 on the Cartesian plan. So on the diagram 4 over here, you should be able to see actually the curve doesn't intersect the straight line. So like what I always say, does not intersect means what? Does not intersect means b squared minus 4ac less than 0. So whenever you see the curve and the straight line does not intersect, first thing go into your mind is b squared minus 4ac less than 0. Okay, this is something you always need to memorize. If you can't memorize, I couldn't help you further. Alright, so in order to do b squared minus 4ac, in the last lesson I always say, you need to make sure you have the general equation of quadratic, which is you need to have the ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So how to get this equation? You realize the whole general equation here, we don't have y in the equation, isn't it? We only have x squared, x and number. So therefore, this one hints you what? You basically need to do the simultaneous. You need to sub the y1 into the y2. That means you sub the both equation together to make it in terms of x squared and x. I mean in terms of x. Alright, so what I will do is I will sub the equation of curve into the equation of straight line. So therefore, I will have the px, never mind, I write the 2x squared first. 2x squared plus x minus 7 will equals to px minus 9. Alright, so I want, in order to get the general equation, so I must make it equal to 0. So I'm going to move my px to the other side, it becomes minus px. So I will do some shortcut here later. So this one will become plus 2 equals to 0. Then the next thing is I want to categorize my a, b and c. That means this term over here, I will need to actually factorize out the x. It will become 1 minus p. X plus 2 equals to 0. Then I know my a, b and c very clear here. Okay, so after that, I know I can easily substitute the b squared minus 4ac. So then I will substitute the b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so b squared, let me do it here, b squared minus 4ac less than 0. So b is 1 minus p square minus 4, a is 2, c is 2 less than 0. Alright, so 1 minus p, basically what you can do here, you just expand it. 1 minus 2p plus p squared minus 16 less than 0. Then you will factorize it. Minus 15 less than 0. Then you will do 2 bracket for it. It should be p minus 5, p plus 3. So like what I always say, if inequality for quadratic, you always need to draw out the diagram. Less than 0 means below the x-axis. If below the x-axis over here, you will get negative 3 and 5, isn't it? So you should know your p value should be between negative 3 and 5. Alright, this is how we actually getting the value of p. Alright, yeah, I prefer you use this way. If you take the answer I sent to you, actually I use another method which is more complicated. You can just ignore that one. Just follow this one because I find out this one actually is more easier. Right, so okay, so yep, number 12 is very easy. You do it yourself. Okay, number 15 here. For this question over here, actually you can have two equations, but I will just explain first, then only I will further do these questions. So basically there's two possibilities you can get this diagram. The first possibility is something like this. You have a curve look like this, and then it will passing through the y-intercept at negative a. Okay, and then you have the second curve. It will look like this, and then passing the positive a. Alright, because what? Because of the modulus. Because of the modulus, whatever below the x-axis going to reflect on the x-axis, isn't it? So this is what happened if they reflex over here. So that means whatever below the x-axis here, going to do the reflex here. So whatever below the x-axis will gone. So same idea, this one, whatever below the x-axis, they're going to reflex here. So this thing will gone. And then you realize after reflex already, both of the graph actually look exactly the same. So therefore, yeah, you can have two different answers for this one, and I guess both is correct unless the question say A must be bigger than 0 or A must be less than 0. Then it decide the graph is either maximum graph or minimum graph, U or N. Or else, yeah, there's two possibility over here. So therefore, what I will do over here is, let me give you some insight here. Oops. Okay, let me just go back to the black color. Okay, so if there's a two possibility, I would recommend you to do the second one, because I always prefer A is positive. But of course, you insist want to do the first one, yeah, you can always do that. You should get the same answer also. Okay, so of course, the diagram 5 you see over here is after they already reflex. So we want to know before reflex, what is the minimum point here? So before reflex over here, you imagine you have a line like this. So yeah, my drawing is so bad. Let me draw again. I have a curve look like this. So the x value must always the same. So the x value should remain the 3. And then the y value, because it reflects on the x-axis. So if you get the y value is 4, that means the original one should be -4. Alright, this is something you need to know in order to solve this kind of questions. Alright, so therefore, yeah, I will rewrite my equation, and you should already know this equation is completing the square. Completing a square means what? Completing a square means we can actually substitute our x and y coordinate of our maximum or minimum into our completing a square equation. Yeah, this is something you should know. So therefore, what I will do is I straight away substitute. Of course, I do not know the A, and I ignore the modulus first because my objective is to actually write the equation. So this one should be x minus 3 square minus 4. Alright, so this is how I sub in the coordinate. Alright, so you can see the 3 will become -3, the -4 will follow the -4. Okay, the next objective is I want to find A. So this is the reason why they give you the y-intercept here. So the y-intercept here tell you what coordinate is it? 0, 8, isn't it? So you're going to substitute 0, 8 into here to find my A. So this is 0 minus 3 square minus 4. And yep, and then I'm going to move around. So I have 12 equals to 9A. So A will equals to 12 over 9, which is the 4 over 3. 4 over 3. So therefore, my equation is the fx equals to 4 over 3 and then x minus 3 square minus 4 modulus. Alright, this one should be your final answer. But you might think, what if you do the first diagram? I mean, what if you do this one? And will you get the similar answer for A, or the A will be totally different value? Okay, if you do it correctly, your A must be 4 over 3 also, but then with the negative sign. Alright, this is something you must be very careful. Alright, so let's try about the first diagram over here. So the first diagram over here, we know the maximum point will be 3 and 4 because it's given. But what you need to know is you can no longer use the 0, 8 over here because the original diagram should be 0, -8. So this is what happened if I'm using the first diagram over here. So I will do something like fx equals to A, x minus 3 square plus 4. Alright, so I want to find my A value, so I'm going to substitute the y-intercept, which is -8 and 0 plus 4. So you can realize this is -12 equals to 9A. So my A over here should equals to -4 over 3. Then you can sub in the equation, so you got the fx equals to modulus negative 4 over 3 x minus 3 square plus 4. Yeah, I guess both of the equation is correct also. So yeah, depend which one you like, but I always prefer A is positive. This is what my personal preference. But yeah, I just show you the two different way of doing it. Yeah, so when you do this kind of question, you must be very careful. I would say if you are not so familiar on this kind of question, 15 is considered K-bright for you, because it is not like so direct compared to other partial question you already done.